Hello and welcome back. My name is Sandcrawler and we are playing more of the all-around games Minecraft Plus pack. So in this episode, or well, in the last episode, we worked on this mob farm down here. And we set up the waterways to move all the mobs over to here. And now there's a water elevator that will lift them up. Lifts them up to there. And then they fall down to their death in here. As you can see. There's something of a sorter up there, but it's not fully working. Obviously. So, I'll have to work on that some more off camera, but I thought in this episode we would go exploring a little bit. I don't want one of those. We'll make us a boat, because I think we're gonna need make us a couple boats probably. So we're just gonna set off in this direction. I don't think anyone has gone that way. We came from that direction and I've gone that way, so this way and that way. I think we'll hit the ocean here pretty quick. So yeah, this mod pack, we're going to update it to 1.6, but we have to wait for all the different mods to update. Actually, I haven't checked recently to see what we're waiting on. It's getting there. It's getting pretty close to being 1.6. And then we'll have horses on this server too. On the other server, horses have caused nothing but problems. People steal them and just take them. Had that happen twice. So yeah, I'm not sure what's with that. It's like, go out and find your own horse. Well, that's half of the point of playing the game, is finding your own stuff. Finding your own horse and not just taking or breeding someone else's horses just so you can get them easily. But wait until they try and find name tags, because that's going to be interesting on that on the bucket server. Because of how old the map is, you're going to have to go out to newly generated chunks in order to find dungeons that contain name tags. Which it'll kind of be the same way on here. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not all that impressed by 1.6. Did you know even with the horses, they didn't, when you breed two horses together, the traits of the mother doesn't really matter. You know, like it plays a very minor role in the baby horse's attributes. And to me, that's just not how it should work. Like, why should it just be random when you have a running speed mother and a jumping father? Then the new one, the baby, should have both of those traits. Now, it could be random within a little bit, you know, within say 3 points or whatever, but it's completely random, so that doesn't interest me to do. When they first were adding it, I thought that could be really cool to have horses that you would breed and in order to get the best attributes that you could. But nope. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut it here. And I will show you guys if I find anything interesting like a red rock biome. Because we need red rock to build our house. And until then, I'm working on little projects. And exploring. And I guess I'm gonna hit this. I guess I'm just still locked into land here. Okay, well, I guess we'll go walking on the land. That's another thing in 1.6. I'm sorry, but this music is way too loud. It's too loud for me. It's probably fine for you guys either way. In 1.6, the new mount mechanism where you have to shift or left shift to exit a vehicle, basically, which applies to minecarts, boats, and horses. And I assume it probably applies to saddled pigs as well. Not that anyone in the right mind will ever ride a pig again in Minecraft. It's just now a useless item and a useless ability, a total waste of time to put a saddle on a pig. So then you can't get the saddle off. You know, when they added the horse user interface where you can get the saddle back off of the horse, they needed to go back and revisit the pigs and make it so that you could take the saddle off the pig. But instead it doesn't work that way. I don't know. Just little things, little details. So this is fun. Eventually we'll find something worthwhile. We've seen some pretty cool stuff just on our way out here. Just cool little mountain formations, and you know, who knows, you could just stumble upon a dungeon, one of the better dungeons. They're pretty rare. I made them really rare, probably, because I set the distance that they can occur to about 2,000 blocks. So yeah, there will be quite some space between the two. And I forgot to bring a bed. That wasn't the smartest thing to do. I figured I'd hit ocean, because in the other direction I just hit ocean and just kept going for 4,000 blocks. But we'll see if we can find us a couple sheep. I would think that there would be a couple sheep around. Here's a village. The other thing in 1.6, now that we come upon a village, I really like it, but at the same time it was something that needed a little bit more work before it was put into the game, is the new zombies. They pathfind two villagers no matter what's separating them. They don't care. You can have a solid wall or, you know, glass, anything, and they will walk through it, or attempt to. And so there'll just be a lot of them mobbed around a villager at night or after you kill a couple. And then the lag starts because they're trying to pathfind through walls into villagers. And there's a bug report on the Minecraft bug reporting website thingamajig. I thought that was a dungeon there at first, but no, it's an extreme jungle, that's for sure. There's a bug report on the website already, and has been since one of the early pre-releases. And someone even posted, took a look at the source code and fixed the bug and posted about it. How this is how you can fix the bug. And it's still, nobody has said anything about it. Apparently it's okay to cause insane frame rate lag for no reason whatsoever. I can't believe we haven't found any sheep. Yeah, I mean, even my computer, which I normally get 100 to 200 frames per second if I put it on max. But normally I keep it on balance because your eye can only see 60 frames per second. Or, well, no. Let me correct that. Your eye can only see 35 or so frames per second. It's actually a decimal point, but that's the maximum that the human eye can see. And so anything over that is just a buffer. And you don't generally need more than a 60 frame per second buffer. So you have 30 extra frames that you're rendering. So in the occurrence of a lag spike, instead of you seeing the lag spike, it's just absorbed by the buffer, basically. Is the theory anyways. Doesn't always work out that way, but especially in Minecraft, which uses one of the worst programming languages in existence, in my opinion. Java was not meant to be used as a deployment platform, in my opinion, again. It was more of a prototyping, quickly, tech demo type thing. Is how I would use it, and then I turn around and I'd write the actual program in something like C Sharp or C++. What I found real interesting is that now there is a version, now that HTML5 has advanced to the point that it can run 3D games, it can render 3D objects in your web browser, without you having to download a plugin or a client. I mean, you've always had Unity that had a web plugin that would render 3D, but you had to download that extra plugin, which was always a pain to me anyways. Once you have it, it wasn't a big deal. But sometimes it didn't really work either, is what I found. The plugin just wasn't always stable. But now that HTML5 can do 3D games, basically 3D rendering, now you have a lot more possibilities. And because HTML5 is even supported by an iPhone or Android, well, yeah, I think iPhone supports it actually. I know Android does, even though I don't have an Android phone. It's still pretty limited support, but now you have the capabilities of a true multiple platform game. And then there's this engine out now that someone developed. It's just a basic game engine, like the UDK or something along those lines. Oh boy. I wanted to set sail. And so there's this engine, it's like voxel.js, I think is the website. I'll try and find it if I remember. and put it in the description. But what it does is it lets you make a Minecraft-like game. You know, it renders the blocks like Minecraft, and I think for the demo you even used the textures from Painterly Pack. And you know, like you can place blocks, you can remove blocks, and all of that good stuff. There isn't a way to save that I found. You would have to make, you have to make your own modules, obviously, in order to make your own game, but he has some basic modules like inventory and whatnot. Anyways, the point being that you could make Minecraft, play in a web browser natively, and you could even have multiplayer. He's been working on a module that will allow you to do multiplayer, which in my opinion that's really gonna open up the whole Minecraft genre of games, because I think they belong more on a web browser, not necessarily as a client that you have to download. And just based on the demo, I got 200 or 300 frames per second on the demo, so it seems to run as good, if not better, than Minecraft right now is the Java downloadable. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I've thought about trying to make something out of it myself, but I'm not exactly the best coder, and my biggest problem is that I don't stick with one thing. I don't like to stick with one project forever or constantly. I generally like to finish something, like that mob farm that we finished, or I finished off camera, and then I like to move on to something else. And that's what I like about Minecraft. But game development, it's different. You gotta stick with the project or you're never gonna make it anywhere. If you change your game every 2 weeks or something, or more than that to some people. Yeah, I think we're gonna call this an episode. It was more of a chatty episode, but I'm not seeing what I want, so I'm gonna keep heading this way for a while, and I have no idea what I'm doing in the next episode. Maybe we'll be on 1.6, but I doubt it. It's only a week away. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.
Okay, so last week I had to travel to San Jose on business. I called about 3 hotels. They didn't have anything. Apparently there was a Macworld convention going on or something, but I did call for a hotel that had a room for me. I didn't know at the time it was a haunted hotel.
Like I say, it wasn't good enough. Maybe once you should lose your mind.
I mean, I should have guessed it was a haunted hotel, because the minute I walked in, there was a huge portrait of this woman named Mary. She was the matriarch of the family that owned the mansion that was the hotel before it was renovated and it turned into this haunted hotel.